of the social media for social change workshop. If you can hear me, let me just know. Yes. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear you, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been amazing. It's been awesome having us, on this platform, day 1, day 2, and now we are in day 3. Thank you so much. All right, so it's time to thank you so much, Vanessa, for holding the fort till this moment. It's time to welcome our facilitator, and she's going to be training us on she's going to be training us today on social media engagement and analytics. And the essence, is for us to know the basics for creating engaging social media posts, for us to know the available tools or apps and possible ways to optimize content creation and dissemination. Also for us to have an understanding on monitoring of level of engagement on selected social media platforms. And of course, the benefit of analytics and the use as a decision-making tool. So the essence of our session is for her to train us on how to know the best social media platform for, creating social change, and also how to monitor the impact, the progress, and to know the demographic that are really consuming your content and everything that has to do with that. I'm going to be reading our bio now, and after reading our bio, the next person you'll be hearing is Ugochi Nwangwu. I hope I pronounced that right, Ugochi Nwangwu. All right. Ugochi Nwangwu is a communication specialist with 5 years experience working in international development, public and private sectors. Her passion is people, and she enjoys producing engaging experiences that inspire young people to connect. She does this through her event production company called We Just Came To, WJC2 Events. I would like us all to welcome online to this platform, Ugochi Nwangwu. Welcome, Ugochi, and we are happy to have you. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. Can you all hear me well?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So let me just, thank you. So let me just share my slides. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope the sessions have been good for the past 2 days. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much, Loretta, for inviting me. I just want to project my slides now. Okay. So can you all see my slides well?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please don't call me ma'am. My name is Ugochi. Still very young.
Okay, no problem.
Almost a Gen Z. So please, thank you. Okay, we're 13 in the room. Can everybody just go around and quickly introduce themselves? So no, I'm not talking.
Let me start.
Sure.
Let me start. My name is Jamilu Yunusa. I'm from Sokoto State.
Welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, who else okay, Teresa, could you go next? You can say where you're from and what you do.
Okay, my name is Olamide, and I'm from Lagos State.
Thank you.
Okay, please, sorry to interject, Ugochi. Please, can you state your state of residence? Where you are residing, where you are joining us from?
Okay, I'm joining you from Abuja, Nigeria. Yes, I'm in Abuja. Okay. I'm
Praise the teacher.
Where are you joining us from? Praise.
My name is Bless. Okay.
Okay. I think two people are talking at the same time.
Blessing.
Okay. Hi, Blessing. Where are you joining us from?
I'm from France, but I'm from Edo State.
Wonderful. Welcome to my session. Praise, I think you're introducing yourself.
My name is Praise.
Okay, I didn't quite catch where you're from, but welcome, Praise.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Still a bit. No problem. Let me not take up too much time. So please, I just want this session to be interactive. So some of the names you've told me, I'll probably call you first, but I'll be looking at the participants list as well. So today we're going to be talking about social media, and okay, there we go. So like I was already introduced, my name is Ugochi, and I have been an active social media user for 13 years, which means half of my life. And for the last 5 years, I have been working with organizations to help build their social media pages, as well as mine, as well as some personal pages as well. And I just want to share some of what I know with you. There's some things I'll share today that you probably already know. So that's why I want this to be interactive. So if there's something you want more questions, there'll be a time to ask questions. But if there's something I'm explaining that's not a bit too clear, please let me know so I can stop and take my time. If I'm moving too fast, please let me know as well. I might not be able to see when you raise your hands or anything. So you might have to, I don't know, Loretta, maybe you could tell me when there's a question or a hand raised, so I'll be able to pause. All right, so today we're going to be talking about three main things. I'm going to just give you a brief introduction on why social media is so important, some of the basics of an engaging post. Then we'll go through social media analytics, types of data you can find on social media platforms, some of the metrics, and what the benefits of this analytics of a thing is. Then I'll also give you some tools and apps that are great for content creation, scheduling your content, and analyzing data. So let's go. So why do you think social media is so important? Anybody want to share their thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's important because we get to communicate with even the people that we've not met, and we get to get information faster than what we expected, or even maybe through the letters, phone calls, on any other means. Social media, I think, is the fastest way to communicate and to get information. So that's why I feel it's so important.
Thank you so much, Blessing. I think you pretty much gave us all the points. And that's really what social media is. It allows people to interact in ways we could never imagine years back. Like now, social media just has made, I can talk to someone in Canada, I can talk to someone in Brazil, and we would never have seen each other or be in the same place. It gives you access to opportunities. I mean, now there's the whole remote job. If there was no social media to even like pages like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, people get jobs from social media all the time. And this wouldn't be possible if we didn't have this platform to be able to share what we do, meet new people, and have connections in so many different ways. So I just want to ask the room a question anyone can answer. What do you love the most about social media, just personally?
What I love about social media. Okay. What I love about social media is that it's the way information is being publicized. how faster it goes. You won't imagine where information goes to a length, how it goes fast. So that's what makes me love social media. So no matter anything you posted or you try to tweet on social media, it goes fast to other places you didn't expect. That is what I think about.
That's great. I totally
I love
agree.
social media. I love
Yeah.
social media because you can easily connect with the people you don't even feel they exist. You can easily connect with your loved ones that you've even lost contact with for a very long time without even expecting to hear from them or to see them anymore. You can just go through social media and one day you find out about them, that they still exist. Things that you never thought existed. When you go to social media, you easily find them. So that's what I love about social media.
Thank you, Blessing. So for me, I think what I love the most about social media is how you get so much at the same time. Today I can be learning about a new language. Tomorrow I can be watching one video that is maybe trending in, like, you get everything. Like now is mostly Twitter. I go for my news, just different things. I think I just like the diversity of social media, that any type of information from entertainment to news to social change to action, anything, you can find it on social media. And I think that's amazing. So I just wanted to bring it back home. The most used social media networking sites in Nigeria are actually, most people are using WhatsApp. I'm sure we're not surprised because we know how far those WhatsApp BCs travel from our parents to everywhere in the world. So yes, 92% of Nigerians that are on the internet use WhatsApp. 86% of Nigerians that are using social media are on Facebook, and 78% are on Instagram. I hope the bar on top, you guys are not seeing it. If not, let me, I don't know if I can.
No.
Okay, great. So it's just my view. Okay. So just to show you how big, so many people, like 32.9 million active social media users in Nigeria, just in Nigeria. So you can imagine what it is around the world. We're talking billions and billions of people. So really, social media is where it's at. Like that's where you can find anyone and everyone. Sorry, my slides are a bit slow. Okay. Okay. Yes. So now when we talk about an engaging post, you're going to think about something that is different. If you think about the posts that you find engaging on Instagram, they're probably something that shared a new perspective. Maybe they made you laugh in a different way. Maybe they shared knowledge that you didn't know. Maybe it was something helpful they shared, something inspiring, something entertaining. It was just something from a different perspective. And I'm sure you're wondering, but how can you always come up with something new? There's nothing new under the sun. Yes, there's nothing new under the sun, which is why social media is about bringing your perspective, right? So it's not just about just doing things because everybody is doing it. It's about giving it your own twist, your own spin, and making it to embody who you are, who your organization is, or who the brand you're maybe trying to represent. And I think that's how people are able to stand out. So I'm going to show you some of the basics of an engaging post. The first thing is you need to have quality visuals. You can't expect to stand out of a gazillion thousand posts that are being churned out daily if your visuals are low quality, if your visuals aren't sharp, if your visuals don't stand out in any way. So if you're just using, basic things, nobody's going to want to engage with your content. You need to catch their eye first. And you already know most people already have a short attention span. So when you're just doing the same basic regular thing, you're not going to get anyone's attention. So you need to make sure you have quality visuals as best as possible. And the second thing is it needs to be brief and easy to digest. Don't think your long essay you'll be writing on some of this, your WhatsApp, people are going to read it on Instagram, people are not going to read it on Twitter, people are not going to read it on Facebook even. So you need to make sure you make your information easy to digest. And there's so many simple ways you can do this. It can just be breaking down that long paragraph into, maybe breaking down into two lines. If you're going to do, I'm sure we all know what those carousel posts are, the posts that would have like 10 slides, or maybe different words on each slide. So you just need to make it easy to digest. So from things like the font you are using, you need to use font. Like now, can everybody see my slides clearly? Like the font on my slides clearly?
Yes.
Exactly, because I tried to make sure I used fonts that were easy, like they are very visible. I'm not using all those cursive ones that you'll not be sure if it's an I or an E. So those are the things you have to think about. Always think about the people you are trying to communicate with. Put yourself in their shoes. Like, okay, if I wanted to, read something on social media, would I want to read this long chunk of text that's not broken down? There's no paragraph, there are no bullet points, there's no, this is the main point, like everything is just a clump of words. Nobody will read that. So you need to make sure straightforward, straight to the point, catchy, and easy to digest and easy to understand. Social media is not the place for big words. You just need to know your target audience. If you're talking to people that is big words they understand, but if your target market is just the regular average person in Nigeria or in wherever you're trying to reach, then you need to make sure it's easy to understand. The third thing is you need to make it easy to share. I'm sure you're always seeing all these posts that at the end of every post, they're not like, comment, save, share. I know you might think, why would I have a post if I don't want people to like, comment, and share? But there's that thing about if you don't ask, it's not going to be done to you. Do you understand? It's just like if you go to someone's house and you don't ask, please, can you give me water? Some people are not just going to say, oh yeah, take water. You need to ask for things. So if you want this post to be shared, if you want people to like it, if you want people to save your post or comment on it, you should ask them to do so, and you should make it easy to share. Like you can't have a private page and expect people to share your content, because how is it going to work? They can't share your content literally because your page is a private page. So these are the things you have to make sure your content is accessible, it's easy to share. I'm sure everybody makes use of the stories feature from WhatsApp. There's stories everywhere, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram. You can share stories. And one thing people are able to do on stories is that they're able to share content from their feed or their main pages easily because it's just there. So you want to always think about that. If someone is just going to share one slide of this page on my story, am I making sure that all the information they need is there? Is my handle there so they'll know that this post is made by me? Is there some context that will make it easy for anyone to follow through? These are things you should try and remember, and also encourage people to share, like, save, and comment. Even if it's a blog post, you should always ask people, tell me your comments, share your thoughts. Always ask and it shall be given to you, really. Then the fourth thing is typos, no grammatical errors. You can't, I won't lie, personally, I don't know about you, but personally, if I start reading a post and I'm just seeing grammatical error, one spelling mistake, grammatical error, I would just be turned off, because it's like, that means you didn't care to take the time to just proofread what you're sending. You didn't take the time to just make sure that what you are saying was clear and easy to understand, because a spelling error can completely change your message. So you need to make sure before you post anything, you edit it. There are so many online proof editing software, from Grammarly. Even Google Docs already has an inbuilt Microsoft Word. So we're having all these resources. You should not have any excuse to still be having plenty typos and grammatical error or spelling mistakes in your post. You need to make sure that as much as possible, we still make mistakes. Human error is normal. And I would not lie, I have also made some typos while I'm even designing posters for social media. But at least you should always have that conscious effort to always reread whatever you share, so you have the minimal typos as best as possible. Then the fifth thing is ask questions. If you're talking to someone, like now I've been talking, but I keep tossing to ask you questions. So it's not like I'm talking to myself, because I want you to feel engaged. I want you to feel part of this presentation with me. So it's not just me talking to my screen and That's it. So if you want people to answer, if you want people to engage with your posts, you should ask questions you want answers to. You can even start your caption by asking the question you want an answer to. Then you can now even like share your own opinion or something. Like, always ask questions if that's what you want, so people can engage. Because the whole point when you think engagement is we both feel like we are part of something. I feel engaged, I feel entertained, I feel like I want to keep listening or reading or watching what you have shared because it's engaging, it's interesting. Then the sixth thing is call to action. So let me explain what a call to action is. A call to action is basically when you give someone something to do. So now, if you're doing a campaign, for example, on, let's say, child marriage, and your call to action for that post is you want people to sign what do they call this thing? Sign a
Petition.
Sorry?
Petition.
Yes, thank you. Yes, maybe you want people to sign a petition to end child marriage and take it to the National Assembly or something like that. That is your call to action. So you need to make sure that you probably re-emphasize that call to action at the beginning, at the end. Let it be the main thing, like sign this to save young girls' lives in the Northeast. Like, that can be, you need to make sure it's catchy, it's a hook, and it's very clear what you want people to do. If it's just that you're an entrepreneur, you're selling products, your call to action can be buy my products, so sales now. Those are the things you want to do. So you always want to make sure there's a call to action. Sometimes your call to action can even be answer my question, So it really depends on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. But always think about, I'm putting this post out there. What do I want people to do? Do I want people to just share? Is that my call to action? Share my post, please. Like my post, please. Always think about that. So people just don't consume your content. Like, that's how you can make it a two-way street. Because if you're telling people to do something, most people might not do it, but the fact you've just said it, some people will, and that's what you can rely on. At least I told them what to do. Then the seventh thing is ask for responses. So it's kind of like you're asking for questions, but you can also ask for responses. Like, now, if you're saying call to action for a child marriage petition, and you're saying, please, we would like to know your thoughts. These are my opinions on child marriage. This is why I don't like it. What do you think? So now people are going to want to share their own opinions. You have not asked them a question, you have just asked them for their own opinions. And trust me, social media, people love to share their opinions. It's like, yes, people just love to share their opinions if they have any chance. Some people will even share very wild takes, but social media has given everybody a platform, so people will do with that what they will. Then the eighth and final thing is you need to reply your comments or engagement as quick as possible. Because first of all, most social media platforms have this algorithm that if they're seeing there's a lot of engagement, you even responding to comments is also counts as engagement. Because when you count comments, like every time I post a picture, for example, and my friend maybe say, oh, you look so good, me replying their comments is going to count as another comment, right? And when I respond on time, it's going to show that, oh, people are really engaging with this content. So they're going to want to move your content they're going to want to show your content to more people. I'm sure this is how it works on Instagram. I'm not sure about other social media platforms, but I'm sure that's how one of these Instagram also rates engagement. So try to reply to your comments, even your DMs. Another great way to engage. Don't always just focus on what you post on your feed. Stories is an amazing way to engage, because I'm sure most people here, you always check your WhatsApp stories. I'm sure you always check your Instagram stories, Facebook stories. When people post things and you reply to them and you get a comment fast, don't you feel like, this person cares about what I'm saying? You don't feel like, imagine if you tell someone, oh, you look so nice in their picture, and they don't reply you 3-4 days. You'll be like, this person didn't care or something. So it's always nice to respond to people so they would feel like, okay, this person actually cares about what I'm saying. This person actually wants to know my opinion, and so on and so forth. So now that we know what the basics of an engaging post are, let's look at social media analytics. Okay, so far, do we have any questions before I go on? Any questions?
You talked about ask questions. So
Sorry,
what kind of questions? Yes, what kind of questions are we supposed to ask? Like, are we supposed to seek opinions or guidance from who exactly to know if maybe what we are putting online is acceptable or if it's good enough? So who are we supposed to ask that question here?
Okay, so basically, before you even do anything on social media, we're going to get to that. You need to have a plan to an extent or a goal. Some people on social media as influencers, their goal is to influence their audience. That is people that follow them, people they want to follow them, and people that are part of their community, right? If you're an organization like an NGO, maybe your goal on social media is you want people to know more about the causes you support. You want people to know more about the work you're doing. You want people to know more about maybe an event you're hosting like this one, for example. You would have different goals for different audiences depending on what you want. So your question would have to be based on what your goal is. So if your goal is you're selling shoes on Instagram, and your goal is you want people to buy your shoes, you can show them, oh, these are 5 different types of shoes. Maybe your content can be 5 different types of shoes to wear to 5 different types of events or something like that. Then your post can be, which one would you want to buy from us? That's what you could be asking people. Or which one do you like best? Or which one is your go-to? I'm sure you've seen all these posts, heels or sneakers. There's so much you can do with social media. That's the best thing about social media. It gives you full freedom and full range to be creative. But you also need to know who you're talking to, know your audience. If your audience don't like being asked questions, don't ask them questions. Maybe joke with them. You just need to know who your audience are, what they want, what they're looking for, and how to communicate with them. So it basically varies how you ask your questions. But like I said, it depends on what your goal is. It depends on who your audience is, and it depends on what you want to achieve. So when you have these 3 things figured out, then I think you'll be able to know the type of questions to ask. And if you ask one question and you're not getting a response, don't be discouraged, because trust me, most social media now, all these different, there's so many changes now that you don't even know what's working and what might be working against you. So you just need to keep trying different methods till you find what works. So I hope that answers your question, and I'm moving forward. Okay. My apologies. I told you my slides are very slow. Okay, just give me a moment. Let me reshare because it's not working. Okay. Oh, perfect. So this is a question. Which social media platforms do you think track analytics?
Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay.
So these are the shows that I normally have an attach with.
Okay. Okay, so let me just say that almost every social media platform tracks, even WhatsApp. I'm sure you can see how many people view your stories sometimes, can't you?
Yes.
Exactly. And I don't have business WhatsApp, but I'm sure they would have more features that would help with tracking in case you do have business WhatsApp. But the thing is, social media that especially involves engaging with people need to have some form of analytics so people know what they're doing. YouTube has analytics, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, even Google Maps even has analytics. Twitter, WhatsApp, everybody has analytics in their own way. Everybody has analytics one way or another, because you would always have people you're trying to communicate with, and you'd always want to know what is working and what isn't. So now let's get into the difference between data and metrics. So data is information. That's the simplest way to describe data, because data is the information that's made available. Because now, for example, knowing how many people viewed your stories on WhatsApp, that's data. So you know that, 10 people viewed my stories in 10 minutes. 5 people viewed my stories in 2 minutes. That's information you just have now. Before, we might not have known, maybe you just post something, you don't know how many people can see your DP, but at least now when you post a story, you have that data right there. 5 views, 6 views, 7 views, and it keeps going up. So basically, data are the facts and statistics collected together for reference or analysis. So data is stuff like how many followers you have, data is how many likes you have on your post, data is knowing the geographic of the people that are following you. These are all different kinds of data. Data is how many retweets you get on a tweet, how many shares your tweet has, how many quoted tweets you have. These are all forms of data. Now, metrics, on the other hand, is a means of measuring. So metrics are a way to sort of track your performance and be able to put them into like a quantity to know, okay, if this is doing good, if this is doing bad. If, for example, your goal is you want to grow your following rate by 10% or something, you'll be able to know this when you have a metric, because now you would know, I'm looking out for followers. If I'm on 1,000 followers now and I don't gain a certain number in the next 2 months, if that's the time that you're giving yourself, you would have the data to be able to measure how many people followed you in June, how many people followed you in July, how many people followed you in August, and then you now have something you are tracking or checking, because that's what you want to measure. So now, what are the types of data you can find on Instagram, for example? So you can find the gender, because I'm sure when you open an Instagram account, you have to say if you're male or female, right? So at least you will know the gender of your following. How many percentage is women? How many percentage are men? The second thing you would know is the age range. Obviously, when you join Instagram as well, they usually ask for your birthday. They usually ask for how old you are, because you need to be, I think, above 18 or something to join some of these platforms. So you would know that most of your followers are from 25 to 30 or 65 and above, or 18 to 20. You would have an idea of what age your followers are. And this is very helpful when you're thinking of your messages. If most of your followers are Gen Z and you're telling them big grammar and you're not using stuff like it's giving, you're not using their lingo, you're not going to be communicating with them. So you need to know who you're communicating with and how to get to them. Then also, Instagram can show you the top locations of your followers based on cities and countries. So if now, for example, where I was working before Save the Children, I noticed that on our Instagram, we had more people from Lagos, Abuja, and like Kaduna sort of following us. Basically, people from bigger cities were following us on our Instagram. And I noticed that people on our Facebook are mostly like Borno, Katsina, basically northern states, which is where the work we do is. So it made sense that when I'm showing like maybe more like program updates that are on the field, like in Borno or all these other states, I always made sure I push that on Facebook more than I did on Instagram. Instagram, they were more interested in like fine pictures, maybe all these big events we did or we attended or do in Abuja. Those are the things that seem to have more engagement. So just knowing where your people are, it helps you be able to make better decisions when you know where they're from. Then you'd also know the times of the day your followers are most active by the hour and days of the week. You can get this information on Instagram. If you just open your page and maybe set it up on a business, you'll not be able to get it immediately. But by the time you're giving your account some time to a few weeks, you'll be able to now start gathering this data. So you know that, okay, on Mondays, the best time to engage in my audience is by 2 p.m. and maybe 6 p.m. This would be all synced via your data analytics backend on Instagram. But you have to be with an account that's not private. You have to be on a professional account. That's the thing with most of these pages. Like now on Facebook, you won't be able to get all this data just from your Facebook page, or if you have like a Facebook account, you need to have a page on Facebook to be able to get most of this analytics. Because if you even do your page, you have a cap. I think the most followers you can have on a personal account is even up to 1,000. I can't remember the number, but I just know there's a cap. But whereas if you have a Facebook page, millions, billions of people can follow you and there would be no limits. So this is a snapshot of what it looks like, the data on our Instagram platform. Oh, another fun fact is that you can only get this data insights on your phone. I don't think it's available on Instagram web. That's basically if you try to open Instagram on your platform, you might not get this information. So you have to have it on your phone. So Instagram is very mobile friendly first. So as you can see now, most of the people on this audience, 53% of them are men, 46.8% are women. Then on Tuesdays, I can see that the most active days for people are 6 p.m. and 3 p.m. So if I want to post, I would know to post around afternoon, evening, since that's when most people are active in my audience. So these are just what you can see on Instagram. So now some of the metrics on Instagram, I just want to give you a little bit of an explanation so you know what they are and how to use them. The first one is impressions. Now, impressions is the total number of times your content was displayed to people. So displayed to people. So for example, I can see a post 3 times and it's going to count as 3 impressions because I've seen it 3 times. So if people keep looking at the same content, it's going to keep counting. Then they would have some platforms will now tell you unique impressions and general impressions. So unique impression will probably count one account as one account, while general impressions will just count everything regardless. Then you can also find number of likes on your posts. How many people have liked your post? Click that like button on Instagram. Then your reach is the number of people who have seen your post or who may have access to seeing your post. So if you have 500 followers, chances are your reach is 500 because Instagram is thinking, yeah, you only have 500 followers. So most likely only 500 people that you can reach. So that's kind of the difference between impressions and reach. Reach is more like the number that you already have access to, while impressions is the number of people that have seen your content or was displayed to them. They might not even like have looked at it proper, but I think as long as they like scroll through it, maybe pause for a second, that counts as an impression. Then say this is now one of the most highest ranked form of engagement on Instagram, save, because people saving your content shows that your content was so valuable or so useful to them that they want to come back to it. So that counts very high. It won't count more than likes these days because people saving your content means you created an engaging post, you created something that was helpful, something that was useful, and people want to save it so they can come back to it. And you won't be surprised. People save things like, if you check my saves on Instagram, I've saved food recipes, I've saved outfits from some fashion brands, I've saved hairstyles, different kinds of things that I just know that I want to have reference to at another time. I would save it on I will segment it into different folders. So this is another metric that is very, that shows you have very good engagement when you have a lot of saves. Then profile visits is the number of times your website or whatever link you have in your bio is clicked on or viewed. So sometimes you would see for Instagram, each post, when you are looking at the analytics or metrics of each post, you will see profile visits. So pretty much if you see profile visits for a certain post, that means everybody that saw that post, it made them go to your profile and view it, and sometimes even made them click on the link in your profile. So viewing your profile is basically someone going to your page. Maybe they see a post from your page on their feed, and they now decide that, you know what, let me go and see who this person is. They'll now go to your profile. Maybe they'll read your bio. Maybe they'll click on your website. You can even check how many people click on your website as well. That's another metric. Then shares, the number of times your post was shared. That's another great and very highly ranked engagement, because when people share your post, it means that they've enjoyed your content so much. Now they want other people to enjoy your content, which I'm sure is just like when you hear something very good, you want to share it with more people, and people value things that are shared like that. So those are some of the metrics on Instagram. Then we also have some other ones. So I already mentioned a bit about website clicks. It's the number of times your website or the link in your bio, whatever it is clicked because of your post. Then now I'm sure everybody knows about Instagram Reels. They are the new rave and everybody's talking and using them. So another metric you can have on Instagram is video views. You know how many people can have viewed your videos, which is also a very good one because now Reels are the new order of the day. So having a lot of views on your video or Reel is ranked, makes your content be shown to more people. Then comments, number of comments a post has received is also another metric. So if, for example, your goal for your post is that you want people to respond to the question you asked, you want people to share their opinions. So when you're seeing when you ask questions in a certain way, you tend to get more comments. When you ask questions another way, you tend to get less comments. So at least you will know that, okay, this is what is making me have more comments or making me have less comments. Do you have any questions for Instagram? So I'm only going to talk about Instagram and Facebook because I feel those are the two that I'm sure almost everybody has. But one thing about metrics is that they don't really change the name on most platforms. Like even on Twitter, you will see the same impressions, likes, profile visits, those kind of things. So if you know the metrics on Instagram and Facebook, you probably have an idea of the metrics you can find on any other platform. So, well, I feel I've been talking for a bit. Are there any questions so far?
No, for me it's no.
Okay, thank you. All right. So now, what are the types of data that you can find on Facebook? The first thing is, like I told you on Facebook, where you can track your data is on a Facebook page, not your Facebook profile. Please, you need to know there are two different things. A Facebook profile is the personal page you would open, you will see in a relationship, married, dating, is the one you will say studies in Unilag, lives in Abuja, works in Mexico. That's when you put all that information, and you need to be followed. You need to have people need to request to follow you, and then you're not the one that can say, okay, you're welcome to I'm following you back, or I'm deleting your request. So that's the difference between a Facebook profile and a Facebook page. A Facebook page is like it's pretty much like, think of it like as a newspaper or as a document, like a public document that you want everybody to see. So with a page, some people can like your page, some people can follow your page. But I think that anybody that probably likes or follows your page, like I'm sure you have pages you follow on Facebook, you see their content. So people following your page are automatically going to be exposed to your content. So which is why a page is better, because with a page, you don't need to restrict who is viewing what you're viewing. People can discover you from anywhere, any source. So it's like a public profile of your business, your organization, or your brand. Even if you see most musicians, Beyonce has a page, Jay-Z has a page, all the big names have pages, Facebook pages for their fans to like. So these are some of the things that that's one of the things to be able to see on Facebook. Then Facebook is even more intricate in data, because if, like I said, if you remember, when you're opening a Facebook account, you give them a lot of information about yourself. So they would know your location from your country, the region, city you're in. They would also know your age range. They will know what gender you are. They even know what your interests are. Because if you've ever had to run a Facebook ad, I'm sure you would see, it would ask you what are the interests of the audience you're trying to reach. And how Facebook is able to know your interests is because when you're opening a Facebook account, you will say you're interested in video games. You say you're interested in sports, Manchester United, Arsenal, all these things is data that Facebook is gathering and is able to give it to advertisers or businesses to use, so they would know what works and what doesn't work, and they will be able to find the exact people they're looking for. Then Facebook would also show you connections. So people who like your page. So for example, it would suggest people that have liked your page and maybe friends of those people that have liked your page, and also show people that not liked your page. So people that you still have an opportunity to reach. Then, like I said, because Facebook gets so much data from us, they have advanced filters. You can find married people if you want based on their relationship status. You can find people, if you're trying to target people that are in primary school or people that are in university or people that have university degrees, you can find that information on Facebook. If you're trying to find people that work in a particular sector, you can find that on Facebook. If you're trying to find people that are parents, you can find that information on Facebook. So these are all filters that are available on Facebook because Facebook has so much data. I hope you can still hear me. I just got a notification that my internet is unstable. I hope I'm not breaking up. Can you all hear me, please? I just want to be sure. My network has not been.
You're breaking up a little.
Okay. Can you still hear me? Am I still breaking?
Yes, you're breaking up a little.
Okay. If it gets too much, just let me know. So maybe I'll change what I'm using for my internet.
No, I think it's better now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So this is also just a snapshot of what data insights on Facebook look like. You would see the number of people that have liked your page. You would see the age and gender. So like you can see women represent blue, men represent purple. And here 68.8% of the men are the ones following our page. 31.2% are the ones at women following our page. And you can even see that their age is now like sort of marked against their gender. So you can know, okay, more men in their 25 to 34 follow my page, while less women in 18 to 24 follow my page. These are just insights you can get Facebook analytics. Now, like I already said, most metrics on social media platforms are similar, because Facebook also measures your impressions, and that's the number of times your posts are seen. Engagement on Facebook is everything from clicking a link, sharing a post, making a reaction, leaving a comment, or just liking a post or reposting it. These are all different metrics of engagement that all count as engagement on Facebook. So that's one thing. Then you can now decide to choose if you want which of the engagement metrics you want to track for your own goals. Then the third one is video retention. So Facebook has this thing, I don't know if you know, most people, okay, video retention is the number of people that watch your video for less or more than 30 seconds. So if someone has watched your video for more than 30 seconds, that obviously means they want to watch that video. Because I know for myself, if I start watching a video, the first 10, 20 seconds, they have not caught my attention, I'm just going to swipe or go to the next content because I'm not interested. So video retention is a metric on Facebook to know how interested people are in your videos, especially. Then click to play is the number of times people click on your video to play it rather than viewing it through an autoplay in their feed. Is anyone familiar with how on Facebook you can just be going through your feed or something, and next thing you get on a video and the video just starts playing on its own before you even click that? Could you mute that person? Thank you. So click to play measures the number of times people can click on your video to play it. So most people already have the autoplay thing that is automatic. So when you are scrolling through a video on Facebook, it will start playing automatically. Or when you click to play, that counts as, now I want to watch this video because I'm interested in it. So that is also a metric on Facebook and can show just how engaged people are to your post. Okay. So now we're going to, I'll show you what so now this is from Facebook Insights. I just took a snapshot so you have an idea of what it looks like on the back end. So these lines here show each post I have. Like now this post from October 13th, it reached 312 people. The engagement was 37. And you can now see the engagement is divided into reactions and likes, comments, and shares. Now I customize these columns because these were the information that were most important to me. But if you want to add more things, you can. If you want to add that, you can add all those things, because this part of Facebook is very, very detailed. Facebook Insights, you can get so much information about your audience via that. So you decide what you want. As you can see, there's this top column here that says customize columns. So you'll be able to decide which of the different metrics you want to track, so you know you're right on track. Now, I want to tell you, like I already told you, most of these metrics, you would find them everywhere on most social platforms. So some of the ones you find, you would always know the views. Maybe it's views on your pictures or stories. Maybe it's views on your, on your post. You would also know your followers growth. Most pages that have a way people can follow you, you would know if you have gained 10 new followers, lost 5 followers, gained 3. At least I know Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook probably have that. Then impressions, like I said, impressions is number of people that have seen your post, and most platforms have that. Then engagement. On Twitter, for example, now engagement counts as how many retweets you have, how many quoted tweets you have, how many people liked or commented on your tweet. These are all forms of engagement on Twitter, but they still count as engagement. So those are just some metrics you can find on almost every platform. Then, so why do you think, from the information I've given so far, and from what I'm sure you already know, why is analyzing social media data and metrics so important? Is anyone there? I'm asking this question to you all. Okay, Williams, can you go? I see you raised your hand.
It helps to track your progress from when you started, and if you are completing your goals that you set out for yourself. Are you reaching the amount of people you want to reach? Is your content reaching the right audience, or that?
Thank you so much, Williams. I think that's great. Does anyone else want to share their thoughts?
For businesses, I think they would like to know, like, if they are reaching their target audience, like, okay, so I'm selling something, like, how do I track, my progress so far? So,
Thank you so much, Timmy. Yes, so you're both correct. It's a great way to know what you're looking for. So I'm just going to go through this. I found this quote from a blog very interesting. Social media analytics displays relevant data to help you determine the best content that gets your target audience attention. Now, if you wanted to communicate with the entire world, you won't achieve anything, because not everybody cares about what you're sharing. Or, for example, we can take the Nigerian government, for example. If Nigerian government has a Twitter or a social media account, it's not the whole world they're targeting. They're targeting people that live in Nigeria, people that are Nigerians, maybe in different parts of the world, people that have own businesses or have stake, or they are shareholders of businesses in Nigeria. So they will be targeting people that care about Nigeria. They would always want to make sure their content is suited for people that care about Nigerian lives, Nigerian economics, Nigerian business, and maybe Nigerian politics. So this is just a way of knowing that you can't try and target everybody. If you want to do a campaign and you're saying, I want the whole world to know about me, that is not realistic, and that will take you nowhere. So you need to make sure, with the data you keep getting and you keep gathering, what is the best content for the people that are my target audience? If I sell women's shoes, women are my main target, but men that buy women's shoes would also be my secondary target. But I'll be talking directly to women first, then their partners, than their brothers, because I'm sure if you're a woman, maybe your husband has bought you shoes sometimes, or even your dad. I know my dad has bought me shoes sometimes. So this is how you need to know who your target audience is and how to get their attention. So this is just this is the main benefit of social media analytics, making sure your data is helping you determine the best content and that gets your own target audience attention. These are some of the benefits of social media analysis. Number one is it helps you improve engagement. So I feel like it's just a repetition of what I've already said. When you know the content that's best for your target audience, you're able to improve your engagement, and you can find this information by social media analysis. The second, and actually the most important thing, because everything you do would not make sense if you do not set clear objectives and goals. You need to make sure that your metrics are clear, they are focused on something, and I would show you a bit of how to make very clear goals, but that will be on another slide. But this is very, very important in having social media analysis that works, setting clear goals and objectives. Then the third thing is to know your audience better. When you are able to understand who your target audience is, know their desires, their needs, their likes, you're able to create better content that suits them and things that they would like. For example, I'm selling shoes. I know that aside shoes, some of the things, I'm selling female shoes, or let me be specific. So my target audience are women, men that buy shoes, and so on and so forth. So the first thing I know is that most people are looking for comfortable shoes. So if I'm telling people, I can now say, these are the most comfortable shoes in our current collection. That is a type of content, because now every woman that likes comfortable shoes will look at that post and maybe even save it for later, right? Now that's, I already know one of their desires. That person's desires, maybe they want shoes that will make them look like a power woman, or they want shoes that will make them look like a boss babe. You know, all these different things. You can now say, okay, these are the best shoes for professional, high-flying women. These are the best shoes for, what would I say now? You can just basically find things that they need, they like, and they desire. Aside shoes, now I can say that, okay, most people don't like when the bottom of their heels start getting rough, and I cannot say, okay, I'm going to buy those heel stopping guards. That will be one of the products I'm also offering to my clients, because I've noticed that people always ask me if I have it, and people always need it because it's one of the things they desire as by target audience. So social media analysis will help you know this, but you also need to be in tune with what your target, who your target audience is and what they like. Then another benefit is that it's easy to monitor and evaluate, because you know what is, you can say, okay, this is working, this is not working. If I try a particular template for like a month or 2 months, and I'm seeing the engagement is not nice, people are not really liking this, I can say, okay, let me try something else. If I try something else and I see it works a little bit better, I can say, okay, let me keep doing this, and we try this a little bit longer, you know. So it's all about experimenting, monitoring, evaluating what works, knowing that this is not working, and trying something new. But one thing I have to say as a disclaimer is that you need time. You can't open a page and expect that in 2 weeks you're going to blow. You need to be consistent, and you need to give yourself time. Most campaigns, realistically, if you don't have like plenty money to be pouring into your ads, most campaigns take, or not even campaigns, just most pages take at least 1 month to 3 months to kick off. And this is when you have consistent posts, you're consistently engaging, creating content, pushing the content, because it's one thing to create content and say, it's on my page. You need to keep re-advertising it, republishing it, resharing it, so people would remember that you have this content. So these are some of the things you need to know, that social media takes time. So don't be in any rush. If you have done something for 2 weeks and it's not working, that is not enough time. Even 1 month is not enough time, but I know sometimes you might have targets. So just know that these things take time, and it's okay if things don't work out as soon or as quickly as you hope, because it's not an easy task. So when I was talking about goals, I wanted to specifically say it's SMART goals I'm talking about. Your goal has to be, first of all, specific. You can't say, I want to gain 10,000 followers in 2 months when you are currently on 100. How is that possible? What are you going to do? Only if you have one, even all those, I gained 10,000 followers in 2 days, post or something that you always see on Instagram. It's not real, it's not realistic, it's not specific. So you need to set a real number and you need to make sure you have a deadline. So let the real numbers be, we'll even get to realistic, but let's just be specific. So be specific with what exactly you want. And that's a great way to set a goal. The second thing is you need to make sure your goal is trackable and measurable. What is the tool you're using to measure? Are you saying that, okay, if I get 20 to 25 comments on a post, that counts as a post that was highly engaged with? And if I get 2 comments on a post, that means my engagement was low. So you need to make sure what you're tracking is measurable. So when you're giving a report or when you want to track, monitor, and evaluate, you know what you're looking out for and what you aren't. Then you also need to make sure it's attainable. Work towards something that is challenging but possible. So I think my first example probably makes more sense here, because you cannot say you want to just get 10,000 followers in 2 months, when maybe you don't even have any funding for social media ads, you don't have any funding to have like a feed that's amazing, you're not working with like the best graphic designer. That would be very, very hard to achieve. So you need to make goals that are challenging but possible. So maybe you're on 100 followers and you say, you know what, I want another 100 followers in 2 months or even a month. That can be a bit more attainable. It will be challenging, obviously, but it's possible, because if you could get 100 followers, you can easily get another 100. Then you also need to be realistic. Be honest about what you and your team are capable of. Don't just say, I can't do anything, I can get 5,000 impressions. Be realistic. Look at what your numbers have shown you in the past. Look at what your numbers are now. Then realistically set an expectation for you. You can't just say, I want everybody in the world to know about my brand, when your brand is just starting, when your brand is only in one state in Nigeria. Be realistic. You can say, okay, I want 5,000 people or so in Lagos to know about this brand. At least you have honed it down to a location, and that's easier and more realistic to achieve. Then time bound, give yourself a deadline. Don't just say, I want to have more followers. I want to have more followers. When? Is it going to be in 1 day? Is it going to be in 2 days? Is it going to be in 3 days? Give yourself a deadline. So when that deadline has come, you'll be able to say, okay, my goal was 300, but I got 250. What can I do to make sure I meet my goal next time? So these are just the 5 qualities all your goals should have to make sure that they are actually achievable. Making sure it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So does anyone have any questions from that section?
No, from me.
All right, thank you, Timmy. Okay, someone raised their hand, Female Drivers Association.
Yeah, thank you very much. My question is on the Facebook aspect. When you want to, sometimes when we click on Facebook, we discover that they will say boost post. And later you will discover, they will send you, when you click on it, you discover that you have to pay some certain amount. I really want you to stress on, give high points on that. If you can elaborate on that, if it's necessary. Sometimes I'm scared to use my card to really pay for it. I don't know what other aspect can we use to do that.
Okay, so that boosting post is just a quick way. Like now, if you see here, you can see all these ones are boost posts. Is a quick way that Facebook just prompts you to run an ad. We all know what an ad is, an advert. So you can decide what works for you. The thing about boosted posts is that you might not be able to get as much options to what's the word, to make your target audience more specific, Facebook will just automatically maybe share people that are following you, or people that are following people that are following you. So if you want to have a more specific ad, you might want to run your ad on your own. So you get to pick the places you want that ad to be seen, the interest you want your target audience to have, those type of things. So in terms of paying online on Facebook, I have used my card multiple times to run ads on Facebook, and I've never had to deal with any form of fraudulent challenge or anything like that. So if that's your worry, I don't think you should worry too much about that, because so many businesses use Facebook ads. So I'm sure they would have very, very high security to make sure that you're not susceptible to any form of internet fraud from your platform. So that shouldn't be a worry. But with Boost Post, I think I won't just tell you to just boost any post. Like I said, let's go back to your goal. What is your goal for your post? If you want more people to see it, yes, maybe the boosted post might see it, but I would always say be more strategic so you don't waste your money. So don't just boost any and every post. You need to make sure the post you're boosting it and it's going to be seen by the right people so you get value for your money. So that is it. So why boosted post might help is because you don't know everybody on Facebook. If you just have maybe 100 page likes or 120 page likes, people are not going to just discover your page just because you're on Facebook. So these are the little things that a boosted post can do, or just running an ad on Facebook can do. It can give you more people. And one great thing about Facebook is that they even have like how to use all these different ads, how to run ads, how to select your audience, all available on Facebook. So if you need help trying to figure out what to do, it guides you along the way. So it's a very intuitive and user-friendly app in that way. So if you have a campaign that you're trying to make for social change, for example, you would want to make sure that you're putting it in places that this is a care about, like child marriage. Whereas the highest rates of child marriage are in the north, especially the northeast. So you would want to make sure you're running your ads in some of the biggest cities or states in the northeast, like Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, and so on and so forth. So that's just an example of how a boosted post can help, or how you can use it. But I would say it's a completely safe way to go about. What I would not suggest is that giving strangers on the internet to run ads for you if you are not sure that they are from a trusted place, because there are lots of scammers in different shapes and forms just looking for people to steal their money. So if someone will say, give me so, I'll help you boost your page, say no. Better you will send them the money to their account than giving them your own card details. So these are just some things you would want to think about before boosting a post. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So if there are no other questions, now I'm just going to suggest some tools that are great for creating content. The first one is Canva. This is my favorite, one of my favorite tools ever, because you can create all kinds of content on Canva. You can do videos, you can do pictures, you can do mock-ups. Like, I don't think there's anything you can't do on Canva these days. I remember when Canva came out some years back, it didn't even have this many features, but each year they keep adding more features. So if you don't have any design experience, I would highly recommend Canva as a great tool for creating content. I would also suggest that you use because on the Canva app, or even on the web page, when you open it, they have tutorials that show you different design mechanisms and different kinds of different ways to make the best out of your designs and make the best out of Canva. So don't just go on Canva and say, okay, I'm just going to use one poster. Try and make sure you learn how to use it to the best, because trust me, if you learn how to use Canva, you can even make money as a graphic designer just from Canva. So make use make sure you take advantage of the learning thing on Canva so you can learn how to use the app best. Then another thing is on Splash. I know some of the posters you might want to design for like some of these your campaigns, you might need quality pictures of people. Like even when I write things like articles, I go to Unsplash to just get stock images. So these images are free, you don't have to pay anything for them, and you can find all kinds of images, but you just need to credit the photographer in your post somehow. So maybe if it's your caption, you can let that be the last line, photo credit, so from Unsplash. You can even just copy it directly when you're downloading the picture. So it's a great tool. Rather than using blurry pictures that won't drive your message home properly, go and source for high quality photos of, you can find everything, photos of things from a hammer to a group of people, to women, to young girls. So Unsplash is great for that. Then maybe you have a picture that needs a little bit of work, it's a bit too dark, maybe it's a bit overexposed. Snapseed is great for editing pictures. It's a free tool, so you don't need to pay for any extra feature. Everything in the app is free. So it's a great place for editing pictures, making them look very professional. And you can even create like presets. So if you want all your pictures to look a certain way, you can have a design format that you just click on it and your pictures will instantly be edited in the way you want it to be. So it's another great tool for creating great visuals. Some other ones I'll just mention that are not here. Adobe Stock. Adobe Spark Page, that one is also kind of like Canva. You can use it to design like posters, animated posters, those kind of things. Then, which other one? There's also Unfold. If you want to do stuff on your stories, you can design very beautiful stories through the Unfold app. So those are just some of the ones for creating visuals in particular. Very, very pleasing visuals. Then, so if you're running a campaign and maybe it's like, for example, there's the Ending Violence Against Women, I'm not sure of the full name, but is that one, 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. That's usually from, I think, September to October. It's like a long social change campaign. So when you have this scheduling content and analytics, it can help you plan your content ahead of time. So you don't even have to be thinking, every day by 1 p.m. you're rushing to go and post. You can just create all your content in bulk and then schedule it for different days, So what you will now be doing on that day is just be going to monitor to respond to comments, reshare it on your stories, little things like that. So these are all different apps for scheduling content. Planoly is one. One good thing about Planoly is that you basically, if for Instagram in particular, it shows you how to plan your feed. I'm sure you have seen some people's Instagram feed and I'm just like, wow, this thing is so beautiful. It has like a color scheme, a color code. So Planoly would give you like you'll be able to rearrange your posts to know, okay, I should post this one today, this one tomorrow, so my feed can look a certain way. That's what Planoly does. Buffer also helps you to schedule posts on different platforms. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all have scheduling. Okay, no. Facebook and Instagram, as you know, they are both owned by Facebook. So you can schedule content from your Facebook business suite, which even has an app now. So even if you don't want to open your laptop, you can download the Facebook business suite and you'll be able to schedule content right from your phone in the app. Twitter also lets you schedule tweets. It's just that you can only do that on Twitter web. So when you open Twitter on your laptop, you'll be able to schedule tweets ahead of time. You might not be able to schedule a thread, but you can schedule individual tweets via Twitter web. Then there's also Tailwind, another scheduling platform that helps you do so much other things. That most of this platform, they just don't do scheduling. They also give you even more intricate analytics. It's just that most of them you would have to pay to get the full benefits of it, which is why I still post Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram analytics here, because it's absolutely free and you don't need to pay anything for that. So if you maybe end up going for an organization that can afford to pay for it, then you can decide to use one of these other options because they would give you a wider range of analytics and support in whatever you're creating. Then for me, I don't just see content as I create something on an app like Canva, I post it. That's not the end of your content. If you're working in a team, like I'm sure most of us are, for example, you're working on a social change campaign, you would need to work with people. So these are some things you can use, some tools you can use that will just support that process of creating the content or even curating the content. For example, if now you're trying to find a way to, work your campaign into a trend. For example, I'm sure most of us know Big Brother Nigeria is trending now. So, like I said, you need to know who your target audience is. Most Nigerians watch Big Brother if you're being very honest. So yes, maybe what you want to talk about is gender-based violence. But if you can find a way to use a trending topic to connect it, that would increase your chances of sort of making it reach more people or making it trend in a way. So that's what you can use this Google Trends for. If you just Google Trends, it's a free search tool that will show you trending topics online. So that's a really good one that will just help you when you're looking for trends to tie your social campaign to, because that's a very good way to ensure your campaign is relevant and is something people want to talk about. Then Feedly is, I don't know if you're familiar with this thing called RSS, but basically, I'm sure if you work in, for example, I worked in the international development sector. So as a comms person, there's different things I want to keep my ears out for. So with this Feedly app, for example, I can add all the blogs that I usually refer to for news, so all the international development and blogs like Relief Web, maybe some UN agency sites. I can also follow companies that are doing the same work we're doing. Like, for example, I worked with Save the Children. Plan International also focuses on female children, so I could always also follow them. So, things like that. So basically, you would have it all curated for you in one page. So when you just want to read all the different blogs or companies or people whose content you follow, you can have it all in one page to just read it freely. That's what Feedly does for you. So it's like a great way of staying informed about whatever your cause or social initiative is. Then Todoist is for time management. I'm sure we are all juggling differently. Some of us have businesses, we have families, we still have our jobs. So To-Do will help you with your time management. So if you want like a digital way to know, okay, these are all the things I need to do today, you can download this app, Todoist, for time management. Then Trello and Google Workspace are like very amazing tools for collaboration, time management, and productivity. With Google Workspace, you can collaborate, you can work on a document in real time with like 5 people on Google Docs. You can have a call while you're working on that Google Doc via Google Meet. You can share content that you have created via Google Drive and share it with multiple people. You can schedule meetings for long term, like now, this meeting, for example, if I added it to my Google Calendar, I'll get a notification 30 minutes or 10 minutes before, and I'll just join it immediately through Google Calendar. So these are just a few tools that can help you, improve your content creation, content curation. If now you want to plan all the content you're going to have for your campaign, you can plan this on a Google Sheet. So these are just things. Trello also helps with that because it's also good for collaboration. You can have different boards. So these are just tools that can help you. They are very easy to use. You just need to read a few tutorials online and you'll be able to find your way around them. So I really encourage you to use this to make sure that your content creation is easier and is faster, especially when you're working with a lot of people. So that's these are just one of the tools I will recommend for that. So this brings us to the end of my slides. Are there any questions, anything you think you still want to know about? Please let me know.
No question for me.
Thank you very much.
I have a question, but I don't know. I'm sort of in a noisy area. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, tell me.
Okay, so we've talked about like creating content, right? So my question, however, is like, I don't know for others, but for me, sometimes coming up with captions can be very, very tough. So I wanted to ask, like, are there apps online that can help you with that?
I don't know if there's
like
make
the caption captivating enough so people can engage with your content. Do you get? So
yeah,
I
understand
to know
that.
if there are apps that can help you, not exactly with what you want to say, but maybe on how to put it for people to engage with it.
Okay, I don't know about apps, but I know that there are different formulas, there are different, you can find this information if you just like Google, because it depends on if you're looking, sometimes I don't have ideas, like, because I organize events as well. So if maybe I'm looking for inspiration for a caption, I can just Google something like captions for games nights, captions for Friday night, captions for a girl. This is just like a very basic example. So sometimes another thing that you can also do, because like I already said, everything on the internet is for inspiration. So if you're looking for, we can go to a page that's doing the same thing you're doing, and they seem to have really high engagement on their page. You can see the format of how they use their captions, and sort of steal and tweak it, change it a little bit here and there so it works for you, and you'll be able to you'll be able to see what works over time. So what I would do is read some blogs online for tips on how to create better content, create more engaging captions. People have even released books on all these things, PDFs, or you can just get inspiration from other pages, or you can also just Google for ideas. That's what I would do.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Praise. I don't know if you're talking because I can't hear you. Your network is really breaking, so I can't make out what you're saying. Do you mind typing it?
What is a Facebook account? What's the requirement?
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay, I was asking what is the requirement for having a verifiable, perhaps Instagram account or Twitter account?
You have a verified Instagram or Twitter account. That's your question, right?
That's me.
Okay.
The requirement.
Okay, so I actually did research on this a few months ago. For Instagram, so now it depends on, for Twitter, it depends on what kind of organization, or if you're a brand, for example. So I was looking for the requirements for an organization. So it was a bit different for that of an individual. But what I know is that you need to have a page online, a website, a verified website that shows that sort of, that sort of collaborate what you do. So for example, if you are an activist and you have a CNN article on you, that is like a very verified source that shows that, okay, this person is an activist. So you can add that. Then if you're a business, they might ask you for some, some of your documents that show that you're a registered business in the country you are. So you need to have that information. You need to also show that you are who you claim to be, because you can't want to be verified if maybe you have not done anything that's, worthy. If now you're an author of a book that is a bestseller, it doesn't have to be a bestseller, but you're an author of a book that has printed copies and is out there, and you can show that, okay, this is how far my book has gone via links and articles that are verified, then these are some of the information you need to submit. And then the Instagram or Twitter body would now do their own reference checks and now say, okay, now you can get the verified symbol. So if you check online, you would see the exact specifications for if you're a personality, if you're a business, if you're an organization. So it varies a little bit, but it's all about having links. They're always asking for links to show. They will not even ask for, I think they'll ask for 2 or 3 links to show that you are who you say you are using. And it's not like, oh, if maybe one of your friends' blogs does an interview for you. No, it has to be like high-level verified pages. So those are some of the things you need to have. Oh, and I just remember Twitter would particularly ask for a Wikipedia page, I think. Yeah, they'll ask for a Wikipedia page of your organization in particular. Yeah. Okay, are there any other questions?
I think there are no other questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for having me. And Loretta, thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoyed giving this presentation, and I'll share my slides with you so you can share it with the rest of everyone that attended. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
Ugochi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so okay, I will hand over to Loretta to take off from here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ronke. But Ronke, you missed out our GPI clap. I was thinking that would come next. Okay, on behalf of Ronke, I'll leave you. Okay,
do it, but
go ahead.
When you came on board, I said let the convener do the great GPI clap. All right, okay. Okay, so do I go ahead or you go ahead?
Thank you, Ronke. I'll go ahead. Thank you, Ronke. I hope all of us had notes, jotting down all the many tools Ugochi shared, because me, I did. There was so much learning, and from when she was conversing, I said I'm going to ask Ugochi's permission if you can upload this video on our YouTube channel. So in case we want to make reference, we can easily go and search for it and listen and listen. Ugochi, do we have your permission? So this is coming direct.
Yes, you have my permission. It'll be my
Thank
pleasure.
you. So our GPI clap is going to even be louder now. But as long as for anyone we're clapping for, you would have to shake your body and dance. Someone has said you can't dance to this clap, but let's see if Ugochi would break that myth. Okay. Education, empowerment, action. Thank you very much. So up you can see someone dance to our clap. So that's it. So thank you. Right now we'll just roll over to the closing ceremony. The closing ceremony is going to be ending with the webinar, and our moderator for this session will be Ophiam Oku, who is here. So I'll be handing over to Ophiam. For everyone who has joined so far, thank you. And let's wrap up this with party. Thank you. Over to you, Ophiam.
Thank you very much, Loretta. Thank you so much, Ugochi, for your session. I learned so much. I thought I knew about social media analytics until you came on and completely blew it out of the park. So well done, and thank you very, very much for sharing. So we're going to begin a closing ceremony right now. My name is Ophiam Oku. I am the Communications Officer at Girls Power Initiative. We are very pleased that you were able to join us to mark and celebrate International Day Against Trafficking in person. We'll just move along because